What's up, fight fans? Today, we're diving deep into the incredible and tragic origin story of one of the UFC's most electrifying stars, Khamzat Chimaev. From war-torn Chechnya to dominating inside the octagon, Khamzat's journey is nothing short of inspiring and heartbreaking. His rise isn't just about knockouts and submissions, it's about overcoming unbelievable odds and personal loss. If you're a true MMA fan, you'll want to hear every detail of this fighter's past and how it fuels his relentless drive. Before we get started, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into the story of Khamzat Borz Chimaev. Early life and background. Khamzat Chimaev's story begins in the rugged, war-scarred region of Chechnya, Russia. Born in 1994, Khamzat grew up surrounded by conflict, witnessing violence and hardship from a young age. Life in Chechnya during the late 90s and early 2000s was brutal. Families lived in constant fear, and opportunities were few and far between. For Khamzat, every day was a battle for survival, and that reality shaped him into the fierce competitor we see today. He's spoken openly about the struggles his family faced. They didn't have much, and the shadow of war loomed over everything. Khamzat suffered a serious injury as a child. He fell down a concrete staircase, which left him with a noticeable scar on his lip and damaged his nose, making it difficult to breathe. But even as a kid, he refused to let pain or adversity hold him back. Eventually, seeking a better life, Khamzat and his family moved to Sweden. Imagine the culture shock, leaving behind the chaos of Chechnya for the calm and order of Scandinavia. But life wasn't instantly easy. He still had to fight for everything. As a young immigrant, he struggled with language barriers, fitting in and finding his place. But through all this, Khamzat discovered wrestling, and it became his escape. On the mats, he found purpose and a way to channel all that pent-up energy and frustration. His early life wasn't just about physical survival, it was about mental toughness, resilience, and never giving up, no matter how bad things got. This foundation would become the bedrock of his fighting spirit in the UFC. Journey to MMA stardom. When Khamzat Chimaev landed in Sweden, he was just a teenager with a chip on his shoulder and a burning desire to prove himself. Wrestling quickly became his life. He trained relentlessly, often outworking everyone in the gym. In Sweden, he found a new home at the All-Stars Training Center, the same gym that produced UFC stars like Alexander Gustafsson and Ilia Latifi. Surrounded by elite fighters and coaches, Khamzat's raw talent and insane work ethic started to turn heads. But the road wasn't smooth. As an immigrant, he faced plenty of obstacles, language barriers, financial struggles, and the pressure to support his family. He worked odd jobs, including cleaning, just to get by. But every spare moment was spent training, sharpening his skills, and dreaming big. His wrestling background gave him a solid foundation, but he knew he needed to evolve. So, he threw himself into striking and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, determined to become a complete mixed martial artist. Khamzat's MMA debut was nothing short of explosive. He tore through the regional scene in Sweden and Europe, finishing opponents with ease and barely taking any damage. His relentless pressure, wrestling dominance, and willingness to scrap made him a nightmare matchup for anyone. It wasn't long before the UFC took notice. When he finally got his shot in the UFC, Khamzat didn't just seize the moment, he made history. In his first two fights, he absorbed only a handful of strikes while dishing out brutal beatdowns. He fought twice in just 10 days, winning both by stoppage, and instantly became a fan favorite. The hype was real, and the MMA world was buzzing about this new, unstoppable force. Major UFC matches. Khamzat Chimaev's UFC career has been nothing short of a roller coaster, packed with jaw-dropping moments and high-stakes showdowns. From the moment he stepped into the octagon, he made it clear, he's not here to play games. Let's start with his UFC debut against John Phillips in July 2020. Khamzat dominated from the opening bell, ragdolling Phillips and finishing him with a second-round submission. What blew everyone's mind wasn't just the win, but how little damage he took. Phillips barely landed a punch. Then, just 10 days later, Chimaev made UFC history by fighting Rhys McKee at a higher weight class. Same story. Total domination, first round TKO, and another record fastest turnaround win in modern UFC history. But the real hype train started rolling after his third fight against Gerald Meerschaert. In just 17 seconds, Khamzat landed a single right hand that shut the lights out. One punch, one knockout. And suddenly everyone was asking, is this guy for real? He answered that question by calling out anyone and everyone. He wanted to fight the best, and he didn't care at what weight. His toughest test came against Gilbert Burns, a top-ranked welterweight and former title challenger. This was a war, 3 rounds of chaos, both fighters landing bombs. For the first time, Chimaev was pushed to his limits, but he dug deep and pulled off a decision win. That fight proved he wasn't just hype. He had the heart and grit to match his skills. Every time Khamzat steps into the cage, it's must-watch TV. Whether it's quick finishes or all-out wars, he brings a level of intensity that's rare even in the UFC. And with every fight, his legend just keeps growing. The impact of his tragic past on his fighting style and persona. Khamzat Chimaev isn't just another fighter with a tough background. His entire approach to fighting is shaped by the hardships he's faced. You can see it every time he steps into the octagon. The aggression, the relentless pressure, the refusal to back down. It all comes from a place of survival. When you've grown up in a war zone, fighting in a cage is almost easy by comparison. He's talked in interviews about how his past motivates him. For Khamzat, every fight is more than just a paycheck or a shot at fame. It's a way to honor his family, his roots, and everything he's overcome. That's why you see him go all in from the opening bell. He fights like a man who's got nothing to lose and everything to prove. Fans and commentators have picked up on this too. There's an aura around Khamzat, a sense that he's carrying the weight of his past into every fight. It's not just about skill or athleticism. It's about heart, grit, and a refusal to quit. Even when things get tough, like in the Gilbert Burns fight, he digs deep and finds another gear. That's not something you can teach. It's forged through real-life struggle. His tragic origin story doesn't just add to his mystique, it explains it. It's why he's so fearless, why he calls out the biggest names, and why he's willing to fight anyone, anytime, anywhere. For Khamzat, every win is a victory over the past, and every setback is just another challenge to overcome. That's what makes him one of the most compelling fighters in the UFC today. Future of Khamzat Chimaev in UFC. Looking ahead, the future of Khamzat Chimaev in the UFC is one of the most talked about topics in MMA right now. After steamrolling through his early opponents and proving he can hang with the division's elite, the big question is, what's next for Borz? Fans and analysts are buzzing about potential title shots, especially in the welterweight and middleweight divisions. Khamzat has already called out champions and top contenders, making it clear he wants to fight the very best, no matter the weight class. There's also the question of which division he'll truly call home. He's shown he can dominate at both 170 and 185 pounds, and that kind of versatility is rare. If he stays healthy and keeps improving, a championship belt seems almost inevitable, but the road won't be easy. Injuries, tough competition, and the pressure of living up to massive expectations are all real challenges he'll have to face. Another factor is his health. After his battle with COVID-19, there were real concerns about whether he'd ever return to top form. But every time he's doubted, Khamzat comes back stronger, showing that same resilience that's defined his entire life. If he keeps that fire burning, we could be witnessing the rise of a true UFC legend. No matter what happens, one thing's for sure. Khamzat Chimaev's story is far from over. Whether he becomes a multi-division champion or faces new setbacks, his journey will keep fans glued to their screens. The future is wide open, and with Khamzat, you know it's going to be wild. What Dana White and Joe Rogan think about Khamzat Chimaev in UFC. Dana White has openly called Khamzat Chimaev one of the most exciting and dangerous contenders in the UFC. After Chimaev's jaw-breaking win over Robert Whittaker at UFC 308, Dana was quick to confirm he's next in line for a middleweight title shot, stating he's in line for a title shot, and that Chimaev will face the winner of the Dricus du Plessis vs Sean Strickland title fight. However, White has also expressed frustration over Chimaev's recurring health issues and fight withdrawals, noting, every time he gets close to fighting, he gets really sick. I don't know what to say. It's tough to deal with. Despite these setbacks, White remains confident about Chimaev's future and his ability to compete in the United States, dismissing rumors about visa issues. Joe Rogan has repeatedly called Chimaev the scariest guy in the UFC, praising his relentless aggression and grappling prowess, especially after his dominant win over Robert Whittaker. Rogan has said, he didn't get touched, he ran through him, and he strangled him in the first round. He might be that guy, dude, suggesting Chimaev could be the best middleweight in the world. Rogan has also discussed the challenges Chimaev faces, from weight cuts to the distractions of fame and wealth, but maintains that his fighting style and mentality make him a terrifying presence in the octagon. Rogan admires Chimaev's seek and destroy mentality and believes he's a true force in the division. Khamzat Chimaev's story is more than just a highlight reel of knockouts and takedowns. It's a testament to the power of resilience and the human spirit. From surviving the chaos of Chechnya to taking over the UFC, every step of his journey has been fueled by pain, loss, and an unbreakable will to succeed. Understanding where Khamzat comes from makes every fight more meaningful, and it's no wonder fans are drawn to his raw intensity and fearless attitude. If you found his story as inspiring as we did, smash that like button, subscribe for more UFC deep dives, and drop your thoughts about Khamzat's journey in the comments below.